In this video, I will show you how to look at a mapping diagram and determine whether the mapping is a function or not. Now, functions, remember, to be a function, there are two requirements. Number one, an input value cannot have two different outputs. That would be like having two different answers for the same equation. So that would not represent a function. And the second thing is more than one input can have the same output. For example, the function y equals x squared. When you input 2, you get out 4. But if you input negative 2, you can also get out 4. So there is a function where outputs can repeat. But if you want to remember just one rule, it's x values cannot repeat. And that's super important. So as you're looking at your inputs here, decide whether the function is a relationship, and then if so, give the domain and range. So looking at your inputs, 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 4, 3 can also go to an output of 4, that's okay, and 4 goes to 5. So yes, this would be a function because no x values repeat. So I'll write that down. And then now I'm going to write down my domain and range. So my domain is the list of all the values in order least to greatest of the input values. So my input values in order from least to greatest would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's all my inputs. Normally we call these x values in our function. And the range is the set of all the numerical values that are the outputs in order from least to greatest, so 2 and 4 and 5. You do not need to list 4 twice, even though 4 was an output for 2 and 4 was also an output for 3. This is just stating what outputs are possible, so you don't need to write the 4 twice. And again, range would be usually what we call the variable y in our function here. So now, if you want, pause the video and see if you can copy down the process, but for a new problem here. So would you have a function, yes or no? And if so, give the domain and range. Now for this one, it's kind of hard, maybe a little bit to tell, but this is saying that the number 1 has 2 outputs. So this would not be a function, because the x value of 1 repeats, because you get the 0.15, and also the input of 1 has an output of 7, which would not classify this as a function. And even though it says if so, give the domain and range, it's good to practice, so I will write the values for the domain here. The values of my inputs in order least to greatest are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then the range, the values for the outputs in order least to greatest is 5 and 7 and 9. And that's it.